You need to adjust that.
It wasn't like that before. You know this.
How is it? That's whatever. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Talking Scared. We will be talking with the lovely Lexi Ford of the Dent Schoolhouse. My phone just notified me that we just went live.
Good job, though.
That's exciting, yep.
Especially considering a lot of people are having issues with notifications.
Yes. Not going to get into some of the drama involved with that these days, but just a little precursor here. Facebook has been a shithead for the majority of the day. We're hoping that they have gotten their shit together and that this is going to be a nice, smooth, fun evening of Talking Scared. That's our hopes. That's our goals. That's what we're wanting to do tonight. So that's what we're going to try to do. A couple of things we wanted to go over. First, we're going to start off with a real quick Ocon review. That was Omaha's Comic-Con. They had some awesome vendors, some cool, just, a lot of, as you would expect, comics and stuff like that. They had a lot of different stuff up there. A little bit of makeup stuff. They had some really cool books. We actually bought a book for one of our children. And it's a little bit of a zombie Boy Scout type of thing. We're not 100% sure on it yet, but it looked interesting, and we went ahead and got it for her. But one of the coolest things that was going down at Ocon, and something that I got to have a lot of fun with, was the PWP Live. That is a wrestling organization that was up there at Ocon doing their thing. They were polite enough to allow us to broadcast live for them, and also let me do some commentary. So it was a pretty different experience, pretty different thing, something I've never done before, something that we've obviously never done before here as well. But we went out there and did it, and it was fun. Hey, Bobby, what's up? Nice to see you, man. Glad you're able to join us this evening. Talking Scared, going to be talking to Lexi Ford this evening. So that was pretty cool, and out of that, we got a special surprise announcement. The gentleman that won the ladder match, Con Artiste, is just happens to be a real big fan of haunted houses, and just so happens he's going to be on Talking Scared as well. So we're very, very excited. If you get the chance to watch the ladder match, that's on. It's still on our Facebook page. You can check it out.
And it works now.
Yeah, it works now. It works now. You like that, Gravedigger? We're going to be talking about you in just a second. You calm your horses. But anyways, we'll be talking to Con Artiste on Talking Scared, talking about his wrestling career and also his haunt career and what he does in haunted houses and what exactly and who exactly he is in the haunt world. So that's going to be an awesome conversation. Two new things that we wanted to talk about that we're pretty stoked about. Number one, Trish, should we agree on that second thing? Were we good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Wanted to make sure. Hey, Lexi, we'll be getting with you here in just a second. I know, right? Great button, great pin, great shirt. Great shirt. Wearing the miasma shirt. Won, conquered. Still grinning ear to ear every time I think about it, which is a little bit of a weird reaction when you think about some of the things that happened. But it does put a smile on my face. But anyways, two exciting things that we're wanting to announce tonight. Number one, we are going to be doing a Haunted Honeymooners sponsored fantasy football league this year. You will have the opportunity to play me, a couple other people that I'm going to have on the Haunted Honeymooners side of things. We'll be announcing different ways that people can get into this event. It's obviously going to be only for a select few. I think we're looking at about 12. So honestly, we'll probably only be looking at bringing in about 8 or 9 actual viewers. So we're going to have some challenges. A couple of things going on that's going to allow you the opportunity to get in. And maybe, just maybe, if you pay attention, we might have one tonight. We may not have one tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But we will be doing that, a Haunted Honeymooners sponsored fantasy football league. Have the opportunity to play me, have the opportunity to play Trish, and a couple other surprises that I've got lurking around. And give you opportunity to. We haven't decided on a grand prize yet, but we're thinking maybe.
Yes, we did.
Oh yeah,
Honeymooner belt.
Yeah. We're gonna have a title belt, WWE style. That we'll ship off to the winner, which will be me. So it'll be sitting right here anyway. So it won't really matter who gets involved. But we'll do a live draft night. Have an absolute ball with it. And if one of you is lucky enough to outsmart me and Trish in the football world, and you're able to take us on, and and maybe beat us, might have some special surprises for you as well. So we'll see. But that's the first thing that we wanted to go over. The second thing, it is a cool shirt, I agree. The second thing that we wanted to talk about is we are going to be changing up how we're doing Actor of the Year. Last year, we just picked, didn't give anybody any say in it at all, which was selfish of us. Terrible. Shame on us, right? Anyways, so we're decided that we're going to let you all vote on Actor of the Year this year. And how exactly are we going to do this? We're going to limit it to 10. All right, we've already got 2 spots that have been filled. 8 more spots remain.
If there's 8 more awesome actors.
If there's 8 more that are worthy. But 8 more spots remain. And what we are going to do is when we have selected those actors and actresses for those slots, they will be given the opportunity to put together a 30 to 45 second video. That video will then be pinned to the top of our page for 24 hours at the end of the haunt season. And during that 24 hours, it will be their responsibility to get as many people out as they possibly can to like and love their video. We will then have a point system based off of that. Likes will get you 1 point, loves will get you 2 points, everything else will get you no points. You'll have, again, the 24-hour time frame. Once we get all the videos in, get everything set up, and then whoever at the end of this thing has the most votes, they will be the winner of Actor of the Year. We wanted to give you all the opportunity to vote on it, and that's what we're going to do this year and see how that goes. Now, talking about voting, and this is going to be the last thing before we get into Lexi, because I know that's why everybody's actually here. They're not here to hear me mammer on and on and on about how awesome Miasma was. That's for a different time and place. That time's coming. It's coming. We're going to start working on that review very soon. Very soon. Just finished up Blood Prison, and we'll be posting that very, very soon. Here within, hopefully within 24 hours. That's what we're looking at. We got just a few little
It depends on how long it takes to export.
Yes. Yes. We got a couple of new systems. We're always trying to upgrade this stuff and make it a little better. And we're experimenting a little bit. It's done. We're just finalizing some stuff, if that makes any sense. But it is coming. I promise. It should be out by the end of tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so I promise it will be my sole focus.
Damn export.
Is making sure that bad boy is posted before the end of the day. But anyways, we will be working on Miasma very, very soon while it's fresh in our head.
But not until
we have, so the interview is next Saturday?
The 13th, yes.
The 13th. We will be talking with the owner, creator, mastermind, the devil himself, creator of Miasma, asking him questions about everything to do with Miasma. I can't wait to talk to him. I've already had the opportunity to speak with him just a little bit. Awesome guy who loves everything that he is doing and truly has a passion for this. And I have a lot of respect for him, and I can't wait to be able to present him to you all and have him answer some questions for you. Very excited, very cool interview. But before we get to him, we have these 2 wonderful people here. You know who we're talking about. Come on now. Really? Gravedigger? His lovely wife? Well, I mean, really? You didn't know that's who we're talking about already? Obviously, we're talking about Gravedigger. Now, he will be on July 7th, and that is the day before voting starts.
July 7th is when voting starts.
July 7th is when voting starts. He's on July 8th, right? Okay, so vote. Scaryface.com starts on July 8th. Make sure you go and vote for Gravedigger. Lexi, you can go ahead and send us an invite whenever you're ready, dear. We'll go ahead and bring you right on over. But you got the button right here. And actually what we're going to be doing on when we do the interview with him, that is when I'm going to vote. I'm going to hold off because it's only 1 vote per IP address this time. So I'm not going to vote until the interview. And then we're going to show you live how to vote. How easy it is to vote. Okay? And so we're going to do that. Now what I need is each and every single one of you to gather together, push some buttons. Hopefully I don't mess it up. I got this.
Digger's Salon. Hashtag look up, lift up. Get that out there.
Hey, Lexi.
Hey, got it.
Yeah, that was very smooth. Very good.
Yeah, I was expecting some trouble.
Yeah, I was too.
You would be surprised.
I was too. There's always some issue. So
Yeah, with all the Facebook nonsense today. So
yeah, it's been a bad day for Facebook today. They have
Yeah,
not
it's
been
been
on their game at all. But
no.
real quick before we get into it too much, Gravedigger, scurryface.com, vote for him. Vote for him. Voting starts July 7th. We will show you on July 8th exactly how to do that. And I am asking each and every single one of you out there, all 6,600 plus of you, go vote for him. Go vote for Gravedigger. Please, please, please. We are this close to winning this thing. All right, we got one big push left, and that's it. So vote Gravedigger. Gravedigger, that's it. I'm not kissing your butt anymore for the rest of the show. You've had enough. We're moving on to Lexi. So, number one, welcome. Thank you for joining us for an episode of Talking Scared. It is wonderful to have you this evening. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
We love doing this. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati, born and raised. I just moved downtown a couple months ago, but still Cincinnati area, so haven't gone far.
Very cool, very cool. Early life, were we exposed to things that we would consider in the haunt industry at an early age, like horror movies, haunted houses, anything like that, or?
Yes, very much. My grandma was actually really, really big into Halloween, and she's basically the reason I got interested at all. She had a corner house kind of with a lot of fencing around there, and we would always kind of scare along the lines during Halloween. So that's how I got into the whole scaring. And then, I started watching scary movies, and it spiraled out of control from there.
Any particular favorite horror movies growing up when you think back?
Favorites? It would probably have to be the first one I ever watched, and that was Jeepers Creepers.
That is a good one.
I was so scared. I was so scared for weeks. I was like, I wouldn't close my eyes in the shower. I left the light on to sleep. It really messed with me, and I watched all the horror movies I could get my hands on. I would have to sneak out and have sleepovers with friends and watch them, wait till their parents were asleep, and, because, they didn't want me to have nightmares, but I already was. I was just being quiet about it because I really liked it.
You were probably like me growing up, one of those weird people that enjoyed a nightmare from time to time, didn't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's
the adrenaline.
Go back and think about it and try and figure out whatever it was that was happening. So I've had something messed up in my hardwired.
Yeah, I liked it. You can't get that from comedy movies. It's just, scary movies are their own whole element, and it's the kind of adrenaline rush you can't get anywhere else.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about getting into the haunt industry a little bit. You're currently with Dent Schoolhouse, but before we get into Dent Schoolhouse, let's talk a little bit about beforehand. What are some of the other haunted attractions you've worked at, or is Dent Schoolhouse the first one ever?
So Dent is the first haunted attraction and professional haunt I've ever worked at. Really, the only other experience I have was at my grandma's house, and we did that pretty much every year. We had a big Grim Reaper costume with raised shoulders that we made, and it stood like 7 feet tall, and I was probably 4 foot tall at the time. And I looked forward to that every year, and I did that religiously up until a couple years ago when she eventually moved out of that house. But that's kind of where I got my start to it, and then I saw Dent was hiring. I think it was actually a Facebook post where it said, "Hey, send us an email." I'm like, perfect, I will. And I did.
Okay. Were you looking actively, or did it just kind of happen that you saw it and you just said, "The hell with it, I'm going to go try this"?
I had always been interested. I actually looked at Kings Island the year before, but timing wise, it was a long drive for me. So I wasn't able, it was just a bad time for me to commit to a seasonal job like that far away. So I did look the year before, and I didn't get anything, and I was just kind of browsing, and I saw it, and I'm like, you know what, this is going to be my year. I'm going to do it. So I applied, and there was an audition, and it went from there.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. The application process for getting into a haunted house. So I'm the manager of a restaurant, and I would imagine that my interview process is probably a little different than what's going on at Dent Schoolhouse. So walk us through that a little bit, what it's like to some of the questions that are maybe asked, and then what the audition itself is like, because that's got to be weird.
So I wasn't entirely sure what to expect. I emailed back and forth with Margaret, who works with staffing, and I went in. You kind of give them your basic information, and then they took me back and kind of asked why, why would you apply here? What are you doing? And she kind of went over how the job works. And I had a lot of questions about how exactly do I jump into this with little to no professional experience. And she kind of went over how you get a character, you build it. There's different types of scares. We'll teach you all that. And then really the only other acting or like audition part I had was she asked me to, she said, hey, if you're a chef in the kitchen and that's who you're assigned to, what are a couple things you would say and how would you say it? And I just came up with a couple of lines and like a voice. And I think as long as you were willing to kind of put yourself out there and get a little weird and commit to it, I think you would be able to do it. And I was able to come up with a few things, and obviously it wasn't what I ended up doing, but I was able to kind of create a character and go from there.
Okay. Do you remember any of the lines that you shot at him during that audition as a chef?
Word for word, no. I said something about the meatloaf being contaminated, and I don't know where my student helper went.
Very cool. Very cool. So what role did you end up playing at Dent Schoolhouse?
For the entire season, I was only in one spot. I was a doll, a life-size doll in the toy room. We have a doll room before.
Hold on. Are you talking about in that porcelain doll room?
No, the room after that, because there's that doll room, and then the room after that, you have the big shelves. It's just a one wall. It's all shelves, and then there's two people-sized ones, and one's a fake doll, so it gets your trust a little bit. And then there's me.
Yeah. No, I remember that room pretty vaguely now. I was shell shocked from the porcelain room, and then walking into there, I wasn't really ready for you. And yeah, no, you gave me a good scare. Now that I know where you were, and that's the only spot that you were at, that had to have been you.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one. I got scared, and everybody talks about the basement of Dent Schoolhouse. I had more scares in the top floor than I did in the basement. I enjoyed the top
just had
floor.
a feel.
Yeah, but I enjoyed the top floor more, I think, than I did the actual basement.
That's good to hear, because the basement it's got all the backstory, but the first level, you got to be a little, there's a lot more acting, I guess. Everybody feels uncomfortable in the basement because it's a basement, but.
Yeah. And that's where all the murders took place and everything else.
Right.
So, that's the uncomfortable spot.
Mike Ross wants to know if Maximus is as cool as he seems in person.
He is just as cool, if not a little bit cooler.
A little bit cooler? I don't know. I've spent some time with Maximus. I saw him have pennies put on his head. So I'm not for sure that I can vouch for that. He is a top fan, so I guess we have to be nice to him. But he is a really cool guy. How did we get talking about Maximus? Gravedigger? Get out of here. Bring up Maximus. We're not talking about him tonight, or OHHC, or any of that nonsense he's got going on. So you were also in the Christmas Haunt, right?
Yes.
What did you enjoy more?
I liked my role because I was able to get really focused into it. It was cool. I had a perfect technique figured out like halfway through. But the Christmas Haunt let me go in a different area and kind of do a little bit different of a scaring tactic, because the one I did upstairs was more of a pop and then maybe some creeping and just generally just make people uncomfortable. But for the Christmas Haunt, I was downstairs. We have a trash compactor room with body parts, and it's like a claustrophobia almost. So you have to guide people through it, or if not, they'll walk into a big cabinet with an animatronic. So I was an elf, like a creepy elf, guiding people through this claustrophobia of body parts. So it was cool. I got to interact. Like I had a lot more free reign with what I could say. And it was cool. I liked that a lot. And I liked the Christmas thing. I'm all about Halloween year round. So that was nice to be able to get some of that fixed outside of the Halloween season.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Cool. I can't wait for haunt season to get started.
I know.
We are loaded up. We'll be seeing you guys this year. We're coming up for the full contact experience.
Awesome.
We'll
yes, lights out.
Yeah, we'll be up there for that. We're also we've got a couple. I can't wait. We're so jam packed full of them. I don't know how we're gonna pull it off. But, we're gonna try. We're gonna try really hard to go down swinging. But I'm excited.
Awesome.
We've been doing all types of off season stuff with Shock Theater, and we just did Miasma. We got Stag coming up, and Wells Township, and yeah, you guys, it's awesome. So outside of Den Schoolhouse, you obviously seem to be into horror a lot. Where's a haunted attraction that you like to go to and that you like to go through yourself?
Let's see. I didn't get to go to many this year on account of being so busy working. I was working a couple other jobs on top of it. I did go through St. Rita's last year, and I loved it. I went through St. Rita's basically every year. That one was awesome. I don't think they're still going anymore, but I loved that haunt. There was I think this was more tailored for younger generations, but I would go with my cousins. It was Mount Healthy Haunted Hall, or sisters, not cousins, but that was fun for everybody. I think it was locally put on. There might have been a Boy Scout troop or something. I didn't get to see any of the big fun ones like Haunted Hoochie or 13th Floor like everybody else did, but I fully plan on making it out to those this season.
Very cool. I know Haunted Hoochie is definitely on our list this year. I think isn't 13th Floor?
Yeah.
13th Floor as well.
With body bag haunts.
Yeah, we'll be going up with another haunt review team for both of those. You can join us.
I definitely want to go.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. I love the we've talked to a lot of people, and we love everybody we talk to, but I always love the ones that are actors or actresses, but are also lovers of the game as well, and love to be on the opposite side of it as much as they like to be the ones scared as much as they like to scare.
Right.
That's very, very cool. So talking about scaring, is there a favorite moment from last year you had where you sent somebody screaming down the hallways, looking forward to getting in the basement and away from you?
I had a couple really good ones. The Cincinnati Cyclones actually came through, and Bud took a video of that, and I think it's still actually out floating around on Facebook somewhere. But my scare for them was included in there, and it was just awesome because I don't get to see them from that perspective because the mask I wore, I had like pinholes for eyes. So that one was probably one of my favorites. I had another one where it was a group of teenagers, probably borderline middle school and high school. And one of them, he froze and did like the jazz hands and just fell to his knees. And I think that was probably one of my favorites.
So cool. You got somebody to do jazz hands.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a record right there. We haven't heard of you scaring somebody into jazz hands yet.
There's a lot of distractions that helped.
Yeah. I want to see somebody get scared into jazz hands. So somebody that was probably scared into jazz hands that we've talked about a little bit was Alex Dickey and the toilet brush incident.
Yes.
We always like to ask if you have had any paranormal experiences or anything just a little creepy inside Den Schoolhouse yourself, or a particular story you know of.
So that room Alex was talking about, my room was literally, it's the door that goes right into my room. And that bath, it's just a long, short, like skinny hallway. And it goes back to like an original bathroom, which is where that toilet brush incident happened. And it is a very creepy room. It is uncomfortable. I would have easily taken my 10-minute break to go use the bathroom outside in the porta potty than go in there because it's just I didn't really have anything that crazy happen. It's just I don't doubt it because it's so uncomfortable and it's very, very, it's just creepy. You feel like someone's behind you all the time. Um, there were a couple occasions where in my shelf, I tried to convince myself that it was like chips in the wood that would like tug on my hair. Um, at least I want to believe that's what it was because I was all alone in that corner and I would have been really uncomfortable if it wasn't.
I'm excited that we have something on our show that has now been referred to as the toilet brush incident.
It is.
I'm proud of that. If we have accomplished anything with
I made a
this,
cartoon about the toilet
if
brush.
we've accomplished anything with this, we have accomplished the toilet brush incident being afraid.
That's a good story.
Regularly used, and people know, oh yeah, the toilet brush incident. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the toilet brush incident.
It's so cool.
I don't doubt it. So uncomfortable back there.
So getting a little closer to the end here, we always start to talk about immersive horror. It's something that we talk about with every single guest. Obviously, we've said this 100 times. Walkthrough haunts will always be king. I don't see immersive horror ever overtaking them as I sit here in a My Asthma t-shirt. But I love them, and there's no doubt that they are on the rise. And seems to be a new one popping up every other day. What's your thoughts, number one, on immersive horror itself?
I think it's cool. I'm glad that that's kind of out there. I don't know if I would do something that crazy. I'm usually down to try everything once, so I might give a try to a smaller one, maybe one that's less immersive. But I know what you're talking about. I've seen a lot more about them lately. There's actually I watched a documentary about him on Netflix. There's a whole, I think it's Art of the Haunt or something like that. Yeah. It just goes over the commitment to immersion in these things. They like almost background check you, and you go through some crazy hoops to even get in there. So it must be a real experience. So I'd be willing to try one, maybe not go that far. But I would try it. I think it's cool that it's out there because with all these haunts getting so intense and so good and so detailed, I think it's harder and harder to get that adrenaline rush. Those really, really big scares sometimes.
It is. And just so you know, there's a good possibility that the owner of one of these is watching right now. So you may have just marked yourself with that little I tried it once. You may be marked now. So I don't know. I apologize.
He's not over
if that comes. But,
oh, good.
So obviously we had a blast at ours. We love doing them. I think they're killer. The Dent. So the touch night at Dent. How was that for you? How different was that as far as the regular nights?
It was very different. For me, that was the first time I've ever like actually scared to touch somebody. All of the, even like back scaring in my grandma's yard, you didn't touch people. It was just kind of you scare them and move on. But this was a whole nother experience. I had so much fun. You have so much more freedom to do whatever you want, obviously within limits. But I think I got a lot of good scares that way. People were much more uncomfortable walking through. Scares came easier. They were more entertaining. There were sometimes I just couldn't stop laughing. I just had to stifle myself. Some of them were just so good. I had a ton of fun, and I think it really heightens the scare a lot. Being just pretty much blind, and then out of nowhere, somebody's grabbing you and telling you to giddy up like a horse. So. It was a lot of fun for me. I had a lot to work with being in the toy room. There's this huge animated horse, and it would jump up and down, and not being able to see it, you could feel that thing shake the floor, and it's awesome. All the animatronics were really helpful, and then just kind of being in a corner in the dark was helpful. But I had a lot of fun. I would absolutely love to do it again.
Okay. What was it like? So, this was your first year. What was it like working with some of these people that have all this experience in Den? Was it intimidating or just kind of
Yes. It was it was intimidating because I know a lot of people at Dent have been there a long time. Um, I realized I had big shoes to fill. And the first week was probably a little rough for me, but I was kind of experimenting on how to scare. And once I got it down, I felt pretty comfortable that I could get good scares consistently. Um, and I wasn't as anxious about, am I doing this right? These people are way better than me. But it was intimidating, but they all have a lot of good tips and tricks to share. And I learned like the learning curve is huge in this case. There's so many people with so much experience and good advice to share.
Okay, so last question before we get to our little wrap-up session here. We've gotten to know a lot of the Denton Schoolhouse actors and actresses. We've got to meet several of them. And we're going to put you on the spot because I think you're kind of one of the, I think you may be the last one that we talked to this year from Dent. Out of all of them, which one's the biggest chicken?
The biggest chicken. Oh, probably me. I went through the house on touch night, and I was a huge chicken. They picked on me so bad.
I went through a haunted house with Luke. There's no way you're a bigger chicken than this.
That was great.
There's no way.
He could be, but
he was screaming like a little girl the whole way through it.
I probably was too if I wasn't cowering in the corner.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening and talking to us about your love for the haunt industry and everything going on with that. It's very, very clear that you love what you do, and you're going to be killing it at the Dent Schoolhouse again this year. Please do not come at us any extra aggressively because you know us. Do not try to scare us any extra. We are just regular old people that don't need any extra talk or anything like that. But no, seriously, thank you so much. And as we always do at the end of these, we always like to open up the floor for you to give a shout out to your local haunts, to your people out there, friends, family, anything like that. So Lexi, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The floor is yours for a moment.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun. It's always nice to talk to people about this. Not many people are down to talk about Halloween or scaring any time of the year. So that's always fun. I'm definitely looking forward to going back. We're doing 2 weekends of Christmas, I believe. So lots more fun. I want to thank everybody who gave me advice and tips on how to do this the right way, because it was scary at first, but I love it, and I'm sold for the rest of my life. I'm sold. I will scare until I can't anymore. So I think that's it. Thanks again for having me on. It was so cool watching everybody else's.
Yeah, we love doing this. I mean, we talk. I mean, Halloween has become 24/7 for us for the most part. We live it, we breathe it. We've been doing this since January.
Great to love what you do.
Yeah, and this running all the way through to September, and the only reason we got to stop in September is because all the haunts we're going to. We just love doing this stuff, and they're so appreciative and so humble to be able to do it. And again, thank you so much for spending just a little bit of time with us this evening. Can't wait to see you up at the Dent Schoolhouse. You're not going to get me though, okay?
I'm going to try.
You're not going to get me. All right?
You don't know where I'll be. I'll try, though. Thanks again.
Porcelain doll room. That's all I ask. I hate that room.
Fuck that room.
I hate that room so much. But anyway.
Noted.
That's going to conclude Talking Scared this evening. Lexi, thank you so much. Thank absolutely every single one of you that tuned in. We will see you next Monday night talking to Gravedigger. Until then, good night. Be safe. Love each other. Bye.